Hello there, welcome to Debbie Rose online training. Today I'll be making a kimono jacket with the shawl collar with the 3/4 sleeves, So this is how the kimono jacket is going to look like with the shawl collar, just the upper part. And so it's going to be a long jacket, but the upper part will have this effect. You can see the collar, it's cut together. There's no joining on my collar. That's why it's called a shawl collar. It's just cut together like this. So we'll go to the fabric now. We're using the freehand method. So the length of my jacket is 40 inches. So I'll be adding 2 inches seam allowance to 40. That gives me 42. Or better still, you can just use your basic block bodies to get this. Just place your pattern on it and cut. But I'm using a different measurement. That's why I'm different measurement from my basic bodies. So that's why I'm cutting. I'm measuring again. So that's 42. So you're going to get your vertical measurements. Your shoulder to bust plus 1/2 inch, shoulder to under bust plus 1/2 inch, shoulder to waist 1/2 inch plus 1/2 inch. That's basically it. So you get your back measurement, the shoulder measurement for this one is 15 inches, that's 7.5. Mark that. So you get your armhole measurement 18, that's 9, divided by 2 is 9. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So you mark your armhole measurement. On that armhole measurement you also get your back measurement, that is 7.5. so you're going to connect with your ruler. You're going to connect like this. Now you get your circumference measurement. The bust is 38 inches plus divided by 4, we have 9.5, and then you're going to add 2 inches allowance for ease. We're not going to add that on the kimono jacket, but we need some ease on the jacket, so you add 2 inches allowance. On the under bust measurement is 34, that's 8.5 plus 2 inches too, like this. So on the waist we have 38 also plus 2 inches. You mark that like this, and then you just connect that to the end of your fabric. It's going to be an A line, but if you want it straight, you just measure your hip circumference and then you take it down. But I want it A line, so I'm going to be connecting from my waist straight down to the M line. So I'm using my French curve on the armhole. So you just place the French curve like this to connect from this point down. So I'm just going to be getting that like this. So now this is my back block. The neck width is 6 inches. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. And then you measure just 1 inch length for the back block. The neck length will be 1 inch. And then you're going to connect your shoulder. You slant your shoulder by 1 inch also. So I've slanted my shoulder by 1 inch. So I'm going to be cutting out that shape. So for the front block, I've been able to cut the back. For the front block, there's going to be an opening. So you fold your fabric into 2, and then you place the back block on it. And then you leave 2.5 inches allowance at the center of the back. Sorry, now this is the front. At the center of the front you leave 2.5 inches allowance. 2.5 before you place the back block on it. And then now let's come to the top. Because my collar is going to be cut together, all I need to do is that you extend this measurement by 3 inches. Remember that our neck measurement is 6. That's the neck width, is 6 inches. So now you say 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. So you measure 3 from that top, from the edge here, upward, you measure 3 inches plus ½ inch allowance. That's 3.5. I go again. Remember that your neck width is 6 inches for this tutorial. If yours is more, you get that. So you divide 6 by 2, that gives me, you divide 6 by 2, that gives me 3 inches. You measure 3 inches upward plus ½ inch allowance for the joining. So that's what I'm going to do here, like this. You measure it upward, and then you're going to connect the shoulder to it. It's the same measurement on the shoulder, it's the same measurement everywhere, only that the difference is that we are going to be cutting out this shape. Okay, so now we can see what I've done here. And so now you're going to measure 4.5 inches from there, or we can just say just subtract 1 inch from this point, 1 inch. And what do? You're going to just draw your curve like this. That's all. You're just going to slant it or you curve it. Reduce this center by 1 inch, and then you're just going to slant it into that point. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to slash the center front. So I've placed the front on the back. Look at it. You're going to be sewing the ½ inch on the shoulder, and then by the time you open up, we sew in ½ inch here, and so this is what we get. You can see the technique. So by the time you sew that in, you get your collar. So we're going to be cutting a facing for this edge, so that by the time we finish sewing, we're not going to be seeing our lining, we're going to be seeing the collar there. Okay, so to cut our facing now, you're just going to fold the fabric into 2, and then you place the front block on it like this. You're going to place the front block on it, and then you'll cut out this shape. And then the width of your facing can be 3 inches, can be 4 inches. So I'll be using 4 inches for my width. So you're just going to cut out the shape of the neckline. For the sleeve, it's going to be 3/4. You fold your fabric like this into 2. I'm cutting the 2 together, so I'm folding my fabric into 4. So the sleeve length, you're going to get the short sleeve and then the 3/4 sleeve. So when you're measuring, you measure your shoulder to short sleeve length to the elbow length, and then the 3/4 sleeve. So my short sleeve for this tutorial is 7 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. You mark that. Sorry, ½ inch rather. We'll be using the half to join the sleeve to the dress. So the 3/4 is 16. But because I want to use my lining in turning up my sleeve, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inch seam allowance. The 1 inch will be for turning up, and then half will be to join my lining to the fabric. Okay, and on the circumference, at the short sleeve, the circumference is 12 inches. That's 6. Then you add 1 inch allowance. On the 3/4 sleeve is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, plus 1 inch seam allowance. So we want to get our armhole slope here. So you just measure 4 inches from top down. Measure 4 inches from top down, and then you're going to create. So I've connected my sleeve measurement upward like this. So from the 4 inches we marked, you're just going to write an S here, and then we'll cut it out. So you ensure that whatever you have on the armhole slope corresponds with the measurement on the armhole of the block of the dress itself. Thank you. Okay, now I'll be showing you how to sew your kimono jackets with the shawl collar. So you're going to cut your facing. You cut the shape of the edge of your jacket, cut the shape straight, and then you're going to subtract this from the lining you will be cutting. So you can see that this is the facing is also part of the lining, but this is what will be showing outside by the time we finish sewing the kimono jacket. So I'll be sewing the lining to the facing, like this. You're going to sew on the wrong side like this, and so by the time we turn it out, it's going to just be at the edge like this. So when I'm done sewing the facing to the lining, I'll show you. And then for the main block of the dress, you're going to iron 2 layers of the soft gum stay, or if you have the collar stay, soft collar stay, you can iron just 1 single layer. Okay, so I'm going to sew the lining to the facing and show you what next. So I've joined the lining to the facing like this. Now I'm going to be pinning the front block on the back block. This is the front block with the stay, that's the interfacing on it. Okay, so this is the back block. Now look at this. We have the label of the fabric company is on the Ankara. So what do? You're going to be ironing the wrong side of the paper. Iron it the wrong side to remove the paper from it. So you're now going to place the front blocks together, and then you sew the 1/2 inch seam allowance that we left here. You sew this together. So now this is what we have. Okay, so now you're going to take the back block, put it on the table, and then you pin the shoulders together. You pin the shoulders together with 1/2 inch. And then you also pin this shoulder together. So now what we're going to do is you're going to sew 1/2 inch on what you've pinned, and then you come here at this corner, you also sew 1/2 inch like this round the neckline. You're going to fix that into the neckline, you can see, and then you continue sewing this way. I've joined the shoulder and the neckline to the back block like this, and I've done the same thing on my lining here. You're going to join this facing, you're going to join it around the neckline and the shoulders joined together. So you're going to be notching the corners here where the shoulder enters into the neckline. You'll be notching it to allow this place to relax. So you also pick the bodice, the block of the fabric, and you also notch this part. So now we're going to open up the neck for the lining, and then you place it against the neck of the fabric, and then we'll be sewing round this part. We'll be sewing round. So first of all, let's pin it round. Let's pin the lining to the fabric, round the neckline into the opening of your jacket. I'm pinning it down. So I've pinned the center together, and then you can see that I've opened up my lining on fabric because I want to pin on the opening of the front straight down. Okay, so my lining is shorter than the fabric by 1 inch, so I'll be sewing the lining to the fabric at the hem line first. I'll be sewing 1/2 inch first. Then once I'm done sewing, I can then turn up the lower part there with 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to sew all the way down. So you're going to be sewing the hem line of this one also. You sew the hem line first, and then the hem line of the back too, you're going to sew it with 1/2 inch. So now I've joined the lining to the fabric. You can see the facing with 1/2 inch. You can see that I've turned up the hem line of, with the lining. I've turned it up. So I've sewn 1/2 inch on the side too, because I want it to close up. I want it close up. So I've sewn the sides of the back block too, and I've also used my lining to turn it up. Remember, your lining will be 1 inch shorter. You're cutting it 1 inch shorter than the fabric, and also this. So I'll be turning it out to the right side from the armhole. You're going to turn it out like this. So I've turned it out, and then I'm trying to align it. You can see the way it is. So I'm going to be opening up my seam. I'm just going to be ironing everything down, because I want this to relax and not look puffy like this. So now I've ironed it. You can see that it lays properly. It's so neat. It's beautiful. So you're going to be pinning the sides together. So we're going to be pinning the sides together, and when we're sewing, you just sew in 1 inch. You just sew in 1 inch on both sides like this, and then you're going to take your lining and sleeve. Remember that our sleeve has been your lining for the sleeve has been shortened by 1 inch. So you sew with 1/2 inch to the sleeve, and then you turn it up like this, and then you're going to iron your stay, your paper stay or soft collar stay here, and then we'll join the circumference of the sleeve before we turn it out. So now we want to fix our sleeve to the block, to the kimono jacket. So you're going to measure from the 1 inch you've sewn. You measure around your armhole. So what we have here is 10 inches. It's about 10 inches. So you're going to get your sleeve like this, and then you make sure you create your S to fit into that 10 inches measurement. You can see that this way that I've folded, that I've bent my tape rule, I have 10.5. So that means I'll be marking 10 here like this, and then I'll be curving my S. Curving my S. It's going to be like this. So I'll be cutting that out on the 2 sleeves. So I've joined my sleeves together. So you take the armpit, and then you connect it to the armpit of the jacket, and then you sew it around the armhole. So this is a 3/4 sleeve kimono jacket with the shawl collar. You can see that the collar just lays flat on it. Thanks for watching.